my name is Sydney. This is Nadifah, and I will be interviewing her today. Okay, so Nadifah, tell me a bit about yourself. Tell me who you are as an artist. Like, who is Nadifah?
Nadifah is a multidisciplinary artist. I do a plethora of things. My main objective kind of is like visual arts. So I'm a painter. I do mixed media, things of that nature. I also kind of like dabble into film and trying to like find different ways to like express different ways to be creative in like different mediums, but usually all visual.
Mhm. So, with us being in a pandemic right now, how has that affected your creativity?
Man, it's been like rough. It's been real rough because it's like I kind of like get my inspiration and I thrive off of seeing experiences and seeing people and interactions and just like learning new things. So with being in isolation a little more, it's kind of like I'm stuck with myself. But like on the flip side, like I made some projects like catering to that and like projects like focusing on like self growth and like self development and figuring out who Nadifah truly is. I think this pandemic has been the absolute worst, but also has its like, has its perks at the same time. I think I had to like, it was like I was forced to like really realize a lot of stuff about myself. It was like I had no choice because I was in the house by myself all the time. So it was kind of like I had to really dig down to find out who did I want to be, and also like transitioning between high school and college, and like also trying to like do all the art things all at once while being in the pandemic, while still being confused of what's going on with college. It's been a lot, but it took a lot for me to like, push through that and actually like prevail and like actually try to maintain being an artist. And I think that kind of like really showed me that this is what I really want to do. Because the fact that I can go through all of that and still have art on my mind and still wake up and think about art and still like want to create, even if it's challenging at the moment. So the pandemic really slapped me in the face, truly, but it had its perks in some way.
So, with that being said, what pieces have you created during the pandemic?
I started this series about self-isolation and what that looked like for me. I personally have a lot of insecurities with my like physical appearance as far as like the way I'm shaped and things. I think a lot of people do. So like I kind of like was digging deeper towards that and how like this quarantine like kind of like made that a little more prominent in my life. So I made pieces catering to that, incorporating, because I'm also a poet as well, aside from my visual arts. So I started to intertwine mixed media, painting, and poetry all in one. So I feel like all those things embody who I am. And I feel like it's the best way to describe Nadifah instead of just, only using a certain medium. So I would talk about isolation and like how I feel like I need to, because this quarantine and this isolation makes me feel like that I need to create, because I'm never going to have this much time ever. But it's also kind of like, Nadifah, you're never going to have this time ever, so take you a break. Like, let yourself ease out. But it's also like, work. So, and I see people that I look up to prevailing and keep pushing forward. So I'm just like, I got to do that, right? So I kind of make pieces catering to that. Also, during this time, not only is the world changing, because it is changing, but the world that I'm living in is changing as well. And so like my perspectives are changing. Everything is starting to become a little more real. I feel like 2020 has been we've been building up this like tower, right? And then like in 2020 just knocked all of that down. It's time to like grow it back up, but like with different blocks this time. We're not using the same blocks we used before. So that's what those pieces are kind of about, but more like on a personal self perspective.
So, as far as influencers, who has influenced you to do what you do?
Oh, I will go on forever with the people that influenced me. To be honest, like I'm not only saying this because this is through MMI, but all of the people in MMI, like the mentors that worked through MMI, the students that were interns, like with me being there for like 3 years, I don't think I would be the person that I am today, honestly, if I didn't go through that program. But not only them, but the people that they kind of branched me out to indirectly, with like some of the interns knowing certain people, and then I link with them. It's like I just like branched off my social circle so much more. And so honestly, all of the creatives in Memphis are my inspiration. Every single one of them, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's acting. It's like I'm starting to learn so many different more forms of art through those people that are around me and are in my community, which is even more inspiring because growing up, the people that inspired me were in New York. People that inspired me were in like Atlanta or Chicago and places that you will have seen like it'll be a prominent art scene. And I used to think Memphis didn't really have that, but it's here, and it's loud, and it's bold, and it's vibrant. You can't miss it. You can feel the soul when you walk into Memphis. And like, I think MMI definitely like pushed that out, and it like really made me truly see, hey, we cold here. We real cold.
So, if you could choose a different creative track other than visual arts, what would you choose?
Ooh. I don't know what it is, but something telling me I'm supposed to be singing. Every time I listen to music, because I used to sing, I used to be in a choir all my life, really. I don't know why I stopped doing music. I used to do musicals and everything. It's like, as of like the last 2 years, I keep listening to music, and I feel like I'm supposed to make this too. Like, I'm feeling like I'm supposed to, I don't know, but I guess whenever the inspiration comes for me to make music, it would just snap and it'll hit. But I think of myself as very infinite. I think of life as very infinite as a whole, and I feel like I can conquer all things. I can be any artist that I want to be. But if I had to wish to be one, it would be either singing or dancing. Only dancing because I cannot dance. I have 2 left feet. So if I could dance, that'd be great. Same, right?
So after the pandemic, after we start moving into things, where do you see yourself? Like, what do you see yourself doing next?
Mm-hmm. I'm working on a lot of like, I think now at this moment currently I'm working on building, right? Building like my portfolio, building like what I think, building like a more solid Nadifah, it being more like secure to myself. I think the next steps that I'm gonna take is like monetizing it and like getting like going on the more business side of my art and actually like making more connections, networking, like building like my art as like something that I could consider a career, like actually going full force in what I want to do without holding back. Just because I know that I'm capable, I just have to do it. And I think those are my next steps, is actually trusting myself and believing in my craft and believing in the stuff that I make and actually like going full force and doing it.
Mm-hmm. So for those who are interested in art and becoming an artist and they don't know what quite to do yet, what advice would you give them?
That's a good question. I would definitely honestly, it sounds super duper simplistic, but you gotta just do it. Like, personally, whatever I'm seeing in my head, I want to put it on paper, whether that's writing in words first, saying what you're gonna do, or it's everybody's process is different, of course. Like me personally, I have to plan out everything that I'm gonna do before I do it. But some people can whip out a canvas and just start painting, and some people have to like, whatever your process is. But whatever your heart is telling you to do it. Because nobody knows you more than you know you, and nobody knows what you're capable of other than you, and nobody knows what's going on in your head other than you. So you have to show the world that. You have to show the world how special you are. And I think that is the biggest advice, and honestly the hardest advice to take, because it's easier said than done to just believe in yourself. It's something I'm still battling with. But if you want to create and all you can think about is creating, you wake up, you think about creating, you like wash dishes, you think about creating, then you are a creator. And you should like follow that fire in your life. So you should follow that and just go full force, you know?
Yeah. So based on your time before MMI, compare and contrast like your art before MMI and your art now.
Ooh, before MMI, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I knew who I was. I still don't, honestly. I don't think you're ever gonna truly find out. I think that's the journey of life. But I think I just had the ability, but not the, I don't want to say not the ideas, because I had the ideas, but they weren't as structured, and it wasn't as consistent. Like, and it doesn't have to be consistent. Consistent, that's something that's not something that you have to do. However, I feel like MMI kind of like made more structure in my life as far as like who do I think I am as an artist, and like what should I follow, and like what's my brand. Because we talked about branding and like things like that in MMI, and like how do we brand ourselves? What does that look like? What kind of artist do you want to be? And those are the questions that I started to ask myself, because prior to that, I was just doing it. And I feel like that's the start. Definitely, you got to do it before you can, go further in it. But MMI definitely like gave me that push to like start thinking about myself, thinking of myself as an artist. So now if you ask me, who are you? Notice when you first asked me to introduce myself, I said artist after I said my name, because that's That's who I am, and I want to embody all those things. So before MMI, it was more like, oh, my name was Nadifah, and that was kind of it. It wasn't like I didn't see myself as an artist as a whole, but through the MMI process, it was like, this is what I love to do, and I had to fully understand that and like go for it.
Yes. Final question. How has MMI, I know this is kind of, you've kind of already explained it, but again, how has MMI like influenced you, like specifically?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to think of a different approach since I kind of like dabbled on that a little bit. I think it made me branch out way more as far as just like friends, because like I have like 6 siblings in total, including me, and so like I've had like different friends, but not many friends that were like interested in what I was interested in, like, which is fine because there's so many things you can be interested in, but it's a different type of feeling when you're surrounded by people that love the same thing that you love, and it's truly a different feeling. And I think like being around people that were my age, they went to school in Memphis, that were Black, that were people that were the people of color in general, that were like 17, 18, 16, and that were in love with art. And I was like, I thought I would never find this. I thought I would never find people that looked like me, that did similar things that I did, and was truly passionate about it. Like, and that feeling is unbeatable. Really, like, honestly, any artist that is in high school, that is considering art, that is interested in art at all, MMI is the place to be. Like I wish this it really changed my life, honestly.
Yes. Well, I've looked at some of your pieces, and I really appreciated what you do with your art. Actually, like it's really beautiful, truly. Because I looked at it and I was like, oh my, like she's able to see herself in a different way and be comfortable. It's very empowering. That's what I would like to say. And it's truly beautiful. Um, Thank you for taking out the time to be questioning
Yeah.
and interviewed by me today. I really do appreciate it.